Hello and welcome to Stu's Music Quiz. This week we are doing our first quiz of the 2010s. Next week we'll do our second quiz, also of the 2010s. So we're covering the whole decade with a range of questions, a range of genre hopefully, so hopefully there's something for everybody. We just to say, of course, we're connected to Richard Shaw's albums from a year, which if you're not aware of, please feel free to check it out on Twitter. Every Friday we give our favourite albums from a particular year, and Richard puts together a top 50 based on that over the weekend. This week, of course, rather than a year, we're doing a decade, and of course we've got 2 weeks for that, and we're looking for 7 albums from 2010. So as well as hoping to give you a bit of entertainment here, in doing the music quiz, hopefully we'll also recommend a huge number of albums from the decade for you to check out, listen to, if you're putting together your top 7, or if you just really want to explore some new music. Okay, so get your pencil and paper ready. There's going to be 50 questions in 2 parts. We'll have a little break after 25. Get your beers ready, get your snacks ready, whatever you want to have, and off we go. Okay, we're going to start with 5 trivia questions. First one, which megastar of the decade, and he certainly is a megastar, has compared himself to, amongst many, many others, Jimi Hendrix, Steve Jobs, Michelangelo, Socrates, and Willy Wonka? Which megastar of this decade has compared himself to Jimi Hendrix, Steve Jobs, Michelangelo, Socrates, and Willy Wonka? I think that's certainly something you can have a guess at, even if you don't know. It's not a surprise, let's put it that way. Okay, let's move to our second trivia question. Right, who co-wrote and co-performed the track 4-5 Seconds with Rihanna and Kanye West in 2015? May seem an obscure question, that, but he's not somebody you will be expecting to perform with those two. There's my little clue for you. Who co-wrote and co-performed the track 4-5 Seconds with Rihanna and Kanye West in 2015? Okay, so question number 3. Which band caused a furore by giving their album away free and without choice on iTunes in 2014? I'm sure many of you, certainly anyone on Apple, will remember. Which band caused a furore by giving their album away for free, but also without giving you any choice over whether you had it or not, on iTunes in 2014? Okay, number 4. I'm sure you'll remember this song very well, but the estate of which artist successfully sued Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams for $7.4 million for plagiarism in their song Blurred Lines in 2015? Again, I'm sure you remember the song Blurred Lines. It had enough controversy of its own with some pretty dodgy lyrics, but they lost a huge amount of money over it for a successful plagiarism case. But which artist's estate successfully sued them for plagiarism? And our final trivia question for the moment. Which hugely successful musical of this decade contains songs called Aaron Burr, Sir, Farmer Refuted, What Did I Miss, and The Reynolds Pamphlet? Which hugely successful musical, certainly associated with this decade, I think it was premiered in this decade as well, contains songs called Aaron Burr, Sir, Farmer Refuted, What Did I Miss, and The Reynolds Pamphlet. I think the soundtrack from this musical actually is a potential contender for quite a few people for their favourite of the 2010s. Okay, so now on to our Name That Album section. This is a little bit of fun. I've taken 3 pretty well-known albums from the very successful albums from the 2010s and replaced them with a series of pictures. Decipher the pictures in order and you should get the title. So read from left to right, try and work out what word the picture might represent, and see across each one if you can work out what album that might refer to. I'm going to give you a bit of time now here to try and work your way through those. I hope the 2010s was a good one for you. It's certainly a decade of just a tad of turmoil, really, wasn't it? In many ways. Yeah, kids for me, that's what it is. It was my decade of bringing up children. It might be very, very recent, but I suppose the thing is for an awful lot of you out there listening to this, certainly if your musical tastes tend to go back in the past a bit more, that it's a bit like long-term memory or long-term knowledge of albums is much better than immediate term of it. But, you know, that's the learning experience, I suppose, isn't it? Okay, right. Well, let's move on from this into a lyrics quiz. So here's 4 selections of lyrics from big songs in the 2010s, big hits, very populist in a lot of cases. What I want you to do is you've got to finish off the line that I've left at the end. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you obviously what song they come from. You hopefully will identify the song, recognize it, and remember what goes in those lyrics at the end. Okay, number 9, the first one. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and a fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Maker. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and a fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Maker. Okay. Number 10, almost as poetically beautiful as number 9. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, but I'm just gonna. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, but I'm just gonna. I have to say at this point, it might be worth bringing your children in if you have any to help you out with these. Certainly if they're a bit younger, they will, I'm sure, recognise these songs probably better than some of us would. Okay, number 11, a real classic of the genre. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. Give you clues, just 2 more words you need there, just 2 more words for the next line. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. Okay, and number 12, it ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on the goose. Gotta blame it on. I'll try that again. It ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on the goose. Gotta blame it on. Oh, there you go. So 4 lyrics there to from big hits of the 2010s to finish off. Okay, so that's 12 out of 50 already down. Let's move on, number 13. This one is a bit more of a thinker. A connections round. Here we go. Here's 4 people. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to tell you who they are. We've got on the left there, Frank Ocean. We have at the top there, Taylor Swift. Underneath Taylor, looking not so happy with himself, is the artist known as Four Tet. And on the right is the godlike David Bowie, who will always cheer you up just by looking at him. What you need to do is have a think about the possible connection between those 4 in this decade. Something with those 4 in this decade. Now, the connection is very simplistic if you're working out how to get there. Okay? It's nothing intellectual. So we have Frank Ocean, Taylor Swift, Four Tet, David Bowie. What's the connection between those 4 in the 2010s? Okay. Now, the 2010s were a time of a lot of comeback albums. Artists from the past coming back. What my comeback definition is basically that it's been at least 10 years since their previous album, their previous release of new studio album, shall we say. So here are 5 albums released in this decade that are at least 10 years after their previous album. All you got to do is work out for me who released these albums, who was making the comeback. Okay, so number 14 is Whistle Down the Wind, an album in 2018. Possibly the hardest one, that one. 15, The Next Day in 2013. 16, The Weather Diaries in 2017. 17, Encore 2019. And 18, We Got It From Here, Thank You for Your Service in 2016. And some of those were a very long time in between albums indeed, I think, but 14 and 18 in particular were. But at least 10 years gap between them. And all, worth it. Well, I say all worth a listen. Some of them are. Let's put it that way. There's 3 I really like out of the 5 there, let's say that. Okay, so to polish off the first half of our music quiz here, I got a picture round for you. 19 to 25. 7 pictures here for you. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is name them. Who are these people? All of them big stars of the 2010s. Big stars of the 2010s in various different ways, all musically though. Can you name who they are? Now, just a reminder at this point, as you're looking at these and towards the beer break, where I'll get a refill, I'm sure you will be. A reminder that the reason I'm doing this is to raise money for the charity Young Minds, who I have a very, very particular sympathy with. I've been working with teenagers for most of my life, for over 25 years now. And I've seen at firsthand a lot of the difficulties and issues they go through, especially at this present time. It's a very difficult time with mental health for all of us. And youngsters find it very, very difficult to cope with any change in that because of the lack of life experience, the lack of awareness, really. And Young Minds is a wonderful charity who do a huge amount to help and support a lot of these young people. So they're very close to my heart, and I have a Just Giving page, which you can see has been at the bottom of every slide so far, is at the bottom of this one as well. Please, if you are watching this and taking part at all in this, please just make a donation, even if it's just a couple of quid. Think of it like you know, you're in the pub on a Tuesday night, here I come with my music quiz. It's the entry fee. Think of it like that. But please do donate. I'm trying to, over these quizzes over the next 6, 9, maybe even 12 months, I'm trying to raise at least £1,000 for Young Minds. Every year I do something to raise money for charity. Last year I went from 0 running at all to running a half marathon, just sneaked in just before lockdown. And this is what I'm doing this year each week. So please, please, please do give to my Just Giving page and help promote the work of Young Minds. Okay, so we're going to call this a beer break halfway through. I will stop this recording here in a second, and then I will record part 2, which you'll see available separately on a different YouTube video. Okay, so hope you went all right with that. Feel free to look back over them if you didn't at all, and I will see you again in a few minutes.